All right, whenever you're ready, Jay.
What are you titling this?
Is the Cardpool Too Vast?
Cardpool.
Like too many things to pick from.
What's up, guys? God damn it, Kendall. Starting over. What's up, guys? Rising Duelist. This is Jay here. I got Chillfish here. I got Kona Bandit here. And I know there's a lot of us here, and there's actually a lot of other things too. Is the Cardpool in Yu-Gi-Oh too much? You guys like the segue? I like the segue.
Yeah, I like the segue. Is it too vast? Like, do we have way too many things to think of? Mm-hmm. I think like right now, especially at this time of recording, the relevancy is like Junk Forward and Butter Spy in Goki. Like, who the hell thought about those cards and put them back in? And then just think about that. Like, some people, I remember Butter Spy existed, but that's like it. Like, I remember being like a card and you were like, oh, it's a terrible card because you can't synchro with it, or you can't XYZ or something like that.
Yeah.
You're like, this is trash. Why do I have this?
It's sling.
And now it's relevant. But that's like, and that's only a card's like 4-ish years old, and people are pulling out cards from hundreds of, quote unquote hundreds of years ago in Yu-Gi-Oh terms, hundreds of years ago, just trying to bring back things into relevancy, or even just things like that pop up that are relevant out of nowhere. And you're thinking to yourself, how many cards are there in this dang game?
Yeah, I think the card pool is so vast. We're looking at things that keep coming back, just like when he was talking about Butter Spy and Junk Forward. We had Grinder Golem just recently. Like, that was a card that no one thought it was going to be used in a way like it was.
I defy anybody that isn't been playing since the inception of Yu-Gi-Oh that even knew that card existed.
Yeah.
Let's be real here.
Like, we got Grinder Golem, we got Scapegoat. No one thought Scapegoat was going to be used the way it is now.
Yeah.
Scapegoat used to be just like, I use it so I could protect myself.
And it was kind of a joke card because Joey Wheeler. Everyone knew that card because of Joey, not because it was ever relevant.
And it's just like it's because of how vast it's getting. We see these cards from all these different generations of Yu-Gi-Oh being brought up from more sense. I'll say Butter Spy and Junk Forward are more fair as comparative to these other cards who are being used in degenerate, like FTK loops, Cannon Soldier. Still, like,
there was a time, guys. I remember there was a time when no one played Skill Drain, and then out of nowhere, Skill Drain decks started showing up. So like, there was a time when these decks we're kind of pushed to the side, and then we have all these things, or just how to stay even relevant or even current with these things. Like, we have this very niche kind of format. Oh, here's a card from 500 years ago that actually applies and works, and then all of a sudden this $1 card or this $2 super card becomes expensive because nobody has it. It's old. The card text is really weird, so you can abuse it and everything. Just what do you think, Jay?
Okay, I think that it's really interesting that whenever we come up with a new archetype, something along these lines can come up from old relevancy and be good again. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm not sure if I'm in agreement or disagreement with you guys. I like the fact that we do not have set rotations. And the main reason is that whenever I want, I can play Go format with friends, or I can play my Karakuris at a tournament. I haven't done that in years, but I really want to do that again now, and it's nice to know that I have that option to do that. And that's something that I do like with Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, and I think occasionally we need to fix old cards that would be broken now, like Grand Soil or a Grinder Golem, and just things along those lines. We might need just to do touch-ups here and there on a lot of the older cards, but I think having this large pool of Yu-Gi-Oh cards is good for the community because you can always be casual.
I think I see what you're saying. Like, the whole sense of like, I like the archetypes. All like, you go through all the times like I picked them with Dolces, and that's an older archetype, and I'd love to play that at locals just for fun, And if we had the format where cards were being resurfaced, I wouldn't be able to play that, Or like, you look at like these old stun decks or chain burn, losing these cards away from like these years. And I'll say, like, in that sense, it's not bad that the card pool is so big, especially since all of these archetypes are very beloved and you can play them and you keep putting different spins on it. I just think maybe it's because there's, out of the majority, there's a small minority of them that give such a bad rep to the current game state we're in, that it kind of shifts the mood with that whole like being big. If that makes any sense. Like, there's so many cards that we see stuff like Grand Maju being misused, which Grand Maju, I don't think when Konami made that card way back when, they never ever thought it would get up to 6,000, 60,000 attack, you know? So that's just what I think.
I kind of like what both of you are saying. I definitely don't want to go into set rotation. I don't like that. I like the fact that in Yu-Gi-Oh you can play older cards. For me, I like having a ban list because set rotation, versus like at least Magic and Pokemon, it's the product. Like you can't use it from this set, yet they'll reprint that card, and that's just a good way to make money, honestly. And we all know Konami does a great job doing that with us anyway. So that issue I don't want to talk about. What I'm talking about more specifically is maybe instead of having a set rotation or having like a reduce the card pool, maybe have it kind of like, for those of us out there who play Pokemon, I don't play this format, I play VGC, but Smogon has tiers, this tier, and we all have tiers in Yu-Gi-Oh, tier 1, tier 0, but if we actually had like tournaments based on that, then for example, we could play Card Couriers, Madolches, and I could play Harpies in a format, and we can still have that accessibility to keep playing, but yet also know that certain cards that are older can't all of a sudden become super expensive for a meta deck, and then if you're going to play a casual deck, you're like, wow, I need to play this one card. It's expensive. Like I remember a couple years ago, my buddy was trying to build Gustos, and this was way like 2014, 2015 when Gustos weren't even relevant. He had a hard time playing it because E-Telly was at 3 and E-Telly was really expensive. So that's kind of the issue. But I just think that the card pool is a little vast in Yu-Gi-Oh! In the sense of there's so much good cards, but there's a lot of bad cards that get released in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I don't know, and like we have, you can't tell, but there's cards everywhere right here, and there's cards in my house is the exact same way.
My room's the same, yeah.
And it's hard to get rid of a lot of the old cards because you're thinking to yourself, wow,
this card's trash.
This card's absolutely trash. A Pointer of the Red Lotus, this is a trash card, then all of a sudden somebody makes a video about it, or somebody comments, and I'm not dissing anybody for doing that, no, like that's part of the game and part of our job as YouTube is to look through this stuff and think of what can be relevant or what can be good. Our whole series, What to Run, talks about cards from way back in the day too.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to keep up with. I think it's very daunting for a new player.
It's scary. It's scary.
It's very scary. Like you have all these cards, and you can use all of these cards, and and it's like, why, or this and that. Yeah. I just feel like it's a lot of resources, and I give credit to the people who spend all this time thinking about random cards from back in the day and using it in popularity. But then I also question, do you have a life? Because there's just so much into it. And I think that, even now I'm trying to play a brand new deck, and there's just so much newness to the deck itself that's already overwhelming to learn a new deck, let alone here's 6 or 7 old cards that work in the deck, and here's how you gotta play them and everything. So I don't know. I feel like that the pool itself, I think the pool is too vast, but I don't want to change the way the formats are run. Does that make any sense?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, the pool's vast. Don't change the format. I agree. But it is hard.
But maybe do some sort of stipulation. I don't know how, but be like any card that was.
Konami needs to
kind of like a set rotation, but instead of that being like this set, but being like any card that has this kind of text needs to be errated immediately.
Konami needs to hire a team that sits down for I don't know how long to figure out what's tier and what they like what decks they think, what archetypes they think belong where, and. Then that would like Jay was saying, having the format, or like you guys were saying, having formats. I think that would be cool. But I don't think Konami would ever.
The thing is about that is that you start getting cards that are extremely OP that help out lower decks, like say Card Demisers with Yusenjus, versus Card Demise versus 2 Draco. And Yusenjus is a good card that helps him out in the 2 Dracos.
It's a must.
It's a tier 0 plus 3 busted card.
Well, even the classic Floodgate that's everyone's playing Monster Reborn in a high tier deck, it's okay as a combo extender. But if you're gonna go play Harpies, for example, versus Blue Eyes, a Monster Reborn is a make it or break it right there.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So I think it just depends. But just what do you guys think? Is the Yu-Gi-Oh card pool way too vast? Is it too much effort to keep up with, or is it too much like, wow, we have all these cards? Even now, like thinking about these cards that we're ignoring in these new sets, Flames Destruction just dropped. Is there a card that this looks really dumb, but then in 10 years it could be all of a sudden really great, like Scapegoat Bit or like Grinder Golem? We don't know. So what do you guys think?
Waking the Dragons, perfect example. Everyone slept on it, and then people were like, oh, that's really good.
Yeah, that actually is good. It's summoned from anywhere, people. Remember that.
Yeah, anywhere that summons is good. But what do you guys think? Comment below, let us know. Is this too vast? Are we just complaining? Or is this a problem that's going to continue on into Yu-Gi-Oh! Until something changes?
Let us know.
Let us know, guys.